Hi, this is Dan Pfeiffer, and this is episode 11 of Leaf, Wing, and Sun, my new podcast. I'm back here at my gardens. This is Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. It's been a wet 2 days here in central New York. It's At the moment the rain has let up. We have another batch coming in tonight and tomorrow morning. Excuse me. I'm back here at my gardens. I'm going to plant a couple things today. Now they got a little bit of a break in the rain. We had about between yesterday, Saturday, and today about 8/10 of an inch of rain so far. So here I can show you the progress of some onions. On the left is some Stuttgart onions, which is like a traditional yellow table onion. They seem to be doing pretty well. On the right is some sweet Spanish onions. They get the large size onions, are nice and sweet, probably like 3 or 4 inches across. I had netting on these at first, so the birds wouldn't pull them out when I planted them, but they seem to be safe now, so I took off the netting. Over here I have some peas, which I've showed you. They come up sporadically. They are Oregon, I believe. Sugar snap peas are Oregon. It's a sugar pod 2, I think they call them. Oregon sugar pod 2. Like I said, they're a snap pea or a snow pea where you eat the whole pod. They only get about 2 feet high, maybe 28 inches high. That's why I have this fence here, which is about that height. As you can see, some of them have come up, some did not. So I planted these a while ago, back in April, I believe. So what I did last couple days, I poked in some more seeds along the fence where there were blank spots. So hopefully they will come up and we'll get a full crop of peas here. Today I'm going to start by planting some evergreen bunching onions. These are like scallions, and I started these using the winter sowing technique, which I have written about on Medium in my articles. I've used it for quite a few seasons now. It's where you plant these containers like in February, even anytime during the winter actually, and place them out in the cold, in the snow, and they germinate in the spring when it gets warm enough. Originally these were 1 gallon, like distilled water milk containers, which had the top on them. I cut the top off once they come up, but you cut the jug in half, you hinge it, and then you plant your seeds, tape it back up with duct tape, leave the cap off of the bottle, put them out in the snow until they germinate, and then once they germinate, then I put them into the greenhouse and took care of them from there. So I'm going to plant some of these scallions. I'm going to stick a few on either side of the peas here. I think I've got some room to put them in. They don't take up a lot of space. And what you can do with these scallion plants is, if your soil is loose enough, you could just poke them in the ground, which I'm doing here. So you put them down on the ground and just poke them in gently, not too deep, and put some soil around them. You can crowd these in pretty good because they don't get that big. Again, a little poke. If your soil is harder, then you could dig a little hole. We'll just fill in a couple rows of these, and then we'll have some scallions here to use in a month or so, or even less. Okay, so here I am back. I planted some of the scallions here, as you can see, next to the peas. These are evergreen bunching onions. They're again from Pine Tree Garden Seeds, which is one of my go-to companies, seed catalog companies. I got some more over here. They're a good scallion type onion, and there's a lot of varieties you can buy, but I found that these work pretty good, these evergreen ones. Looks like one popped out here on me, or I missed it. I'll stick that back in there. Give them a little bit of water. So these onions are doing well. Next project will be peppers. Hopefully now we're past the frost stage here. Tomorrow is Memorial Day. I know we technically have another week left, to go in May here, but I'm hoping the frost is gone. Can always cover things if I have to. These are the peppers I started from seed. This is a so-so as far as the results go. Peppers are a little tricky for me. I've started them from seed before. I don't always. Sometimes I just buy plants. But anyways, these are the ones here. I've only planted 2 varieties. These are called Erica, A-R-I-C-A, again from pine tree. They're a new variety. They're a large bell pepper. And what I did, the other variety was poblano, which is one used in Mexican cooking or Italian quite often. It's not really considered a hot pepper, but sometimes you will get one that has a little spice to it. They're very flavorful. I originally started seeds in this container here, transplanted them to peat pots, which I do for my tomatoes also. I'll show you. The tomatoes, on the other hand, are done very well. I'll show you them in a few minutes. The peppers, as you can see, just didn't do well. They were in the greenhouse. I got a few here. These are the sweet ones over here, the Erica. Some of them just died off. These are the poblanos. I only really got 3 of them. 3 good ones. There's one tiny one there. I'll stick them in and see what happens. These are the rest of the Erica that never got put in the peat pot, so I could use those. So we'll see what happens here. I'll put them in this planting box, or one of these boxes here, and hopefully they'll get a good start here. We're supposed to get some warm weather this coming week, so peppers like warm. Okay, planting the peppers here. With the peat pots, I like them because they biodegrade. You put them right in the soil. You can take the peat pot off, or you can leave it on. Sometimes what I do is just take the bottom off, so the roots can come out through. They will anyway, and then you just make a nice hole here. This is all nice gardening soil here that I filled, and we'll stick them in here. Sorry if my photography isn't the best here. We're filming. One-handed wonder here. Let's see if we can. Yeah. So we'll just I'll probably put a couple more. Probably crowd them a little. I like to crowd peppers. I think they tend to like to be crowded. So I'll move ahead on. Let's see what progress I make. Okay. And back here, I planted some peppers like we talked about. These are small, but I think they will come. We're supposed to get some nice warm weather here. So I've got a dozen of the sweet Erica, A-R-I-C-A. They're a large, like I said, large blocky shaped bell pepper. They're a new variety actually from Pine Tree Garden Seeds. And I've got only 3, which I said before, they didn't come up very well. And some of them didn't transplant very well into the peat pots. Some poblanos. I only got 3 of those, so maybe I'll try to find some poblano plants at the farm stores and nurseries, or I might fill the rest of this with jalapenos or something like that, just to fill this out. This will be the pepper planter, obviously. So what I'm going to do now, just give them a little Miracle Grow. Even though this soil supposedly has some plant food in it, I usually give them a little extra dose of fertilizer to make sure, give them a good start here. They don't really need watering so much because we've had a lot of rain, but these do drain out. These planters do drain, so they don't really hold the moisture that much. So and it's going to rain overnight again. So anyways, and the final thing I'll do is what I've talked about before, and I do a lot, is I try to protect these plants because they're, there's a shock when you transplant plants into the garden. So what I've done in the past, it's a little bit, I don't know if anybody else does this, but I put these wood shingles. These are old wood shingles. But you can still buy them in the store, and they're made out of usually cedar. But they work well. This is an old trick that my parents taught me. They work well to protect plants from wind and sun when you first put them out. When you first transplant them. So I'll put some in here to keep them out of the wind and sun a little bit for a couple days anyways, so they get a little bit bigger. So just put some more over here. They can be, some of them are short, broken pieces, which work all okay also. They still protect the plant. The wind here, well, it can come from different directions, obviously. The predominant wind here is from the northwest, which would be, so that's upside down. This direction here, that's north, but the west is this way. That's protected a little bit by these trees. North there, the cold wind would be from the north. Of course, south, which it is today, is this direction. So it's coming this way off of that pond. You can actually see it blowing across the pond. So I'll put a few more over here. Get the idea on these plants over here. I hope these come. I think they will. We shall see. They're, like I said, they're not very big, but we'll just get a little protection here. Sometimes birds like to pick at them, things like that. So this will just help. And then there, maybe one here. Give a little bit of a barrier there. So anyways, the next thing I'm going to do, plant tomatoes. Okay, so I decided to put them down here in this middle section here. And as you can see, I got some weeds growing. I rototilled this section earlier, probably a month or more ago. And of course, the weeds love to grow. So what I'll go through and I'll just pull some weeds and I'll get ready to plant the tomatoes. Okay, it's time to plant some tomatoes now. As I said before, they've done really well. As you can see, here's one of the plants. Another one there in the ground. The rest of them are laying down there for now. The first two I'm going to plant are called honeybee. They're from, again, pine tree seeds. They're a new cherry tomato, and they're supposed to be really good. I think the colors vary a little bit on them. Some I think are orange, some are red, some may have some stripes. So what I do again here, kind of like I did with the peppers, is I'll dig a hole here, a little bit of a hole. This ground, it's fairly good back here. It's not too bad, I guess. And then these are in peat pots. So again, you can see the roots are starting to come through there. But I usually take off the bottom carefully so the roots can poke through there. Again, it's kind of hard to do with one hand. Stick them in here fairly deep, sorry. Fairly deep here, and we'll gently cover them with a little soil around. Like I said, it's a little hard when you're trying to film. And so then what I do, well, probably a lot of people probably do this. Okay, I'm back. I accidentally had stopped recording when I showed you the putting in the tomato cages, but I put in a tomato cage, poked it in the ground here, and also put some wood shingles around for protection, again, like I did for the peppers over there, and also the lettuce, actually. Protect them from wind and sun. So I've got one tomato planted, so I'm going to go ahead and plant the rest of this, and then we'll come back. Okay, I'm back here. Done finishing up for the night, as somebody decided they're doing some target practice, I guess. In the distance, as you see, I got some tomatoes planted here. I got a dozen altogether to start with. 2 are the honeybee cherries, which I talked about before, a new variety from Pine Tree Gardens. The next 4 are Amish paste, which is an heirloom paste tomato. Next 3, they're divided up 3 and 3 there. I have some Cherokee purples, and which is a really good heirloom, and a blend, an heirloom blend. So, excuse me, it consists of probably 5 or 6 different possibilities of heirloom tomatoes. So what I get will be a surprise, sort of. So anywhere from big yellow striped ones to who knows. I'm trying to think, Brandywine maybe. So I'm going to go in for the night here. It's getting a little late, close to 7 p.m. The rain did hold off. As I went over before, I got the peppers in. These ones I have, they're small, but I think they will come. I just lifted the cover to one of the lettuce bins here that I had planted quite a while ago, and it's coming very nicely. Some of the loose leaf lettuces here. In the back there is some romaine. The other bin I didn't take the cover off, but it has some kale and some more romaines over in here. But anyways, this lettuce is really nice. I'm going to cut some of this pretty soon and enjoy some salad. So that's it for today. Stay tuned for more updates.